We're live. You look so grumpy with your new webcam, Josh.
Such fucking bullshit.
You'll
Nothing
figure it
works.
out. It's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
it's the
yeah.
first one. So we're back finally doing a live stream after taking the summer off. Um the co-founder and I were in Europe for a bit, and then various summer activities. Your busy season is usually summer, yes, with flying around DJing
Wow.
Tay Tay Swift
Yeah.
parties and whatnot.
I guess, but it's funny because wedding photographer for so long, being in the industry for so long, it's like those core 4 or 5 months were so busy,
Yeah.
and now it's like kind of busy during the summer. Like it is very busy,
But
but it's spanned out more, and I feel like I get a little bit more of a break.
oh, yeah, but you still have the DJ thing too, though.
Yeah, it's all quite busy.
And
And
your
it's gonna be like that
your
right
corporate
until the end.
your corporate gigs too. Um, and Steve has kids that are out of school, so he was being run all over town with events. He said it was exhausting the summer.
Kids.
Yeah, so we'll be back doing live streams, I guess, during the winter and clips depending on the week. But if you're just joining us, thanks for hanging out with us.
Thanks.
We will do. We got a little bit better production over the summer, as we're going to do an ad now for our sponsorship.
Your new multi-vendor marketplace, YouSellComics.com, offers a site exclusively for buying and selling of all things comics. Slabs, omnis, trades, and more. Sell for as low as 5% commission or 0 commission monthly tiers. Run your own auctions, unlimited bin listings. YouSellComics.com. Buy, collect, sell.
Okay, so first article of the week is Robert Kirkman is doing the Transformer universe with G.I. Joe. The first book to come out in that new universe that he's creating is Void Rivals. It currently has 3 issues out. I've been reading it. It's been pretty good.
Wow, really?
Yeah, it has nothing to the Void Rivals has nothing to do with Transformers yet. It's 2 new rival alien races. There is an appearance of not Starscream, a different Transformer in the first one, but he kind of wakes up and takes off, I think. Yeah, so comic book shops are really happy about this happening. Robert Kirkman's Energon universe to transform comic shop sales. The Energon universe is a new shared universe, stealth launched by Robert Kirkman and Lorenzo Di Felici in Void Rivals #1. When we first told you about the Energon universe, the new shared universe stealth... Okay, that was the same thing. We speculated how big it could be, possibly transforming the big 2 comic universes, Marvel and DC, into the big 3 with continued success. Bringing Transformers, G.I. Joe, and the all-new Void Rivals franchise together under Kirkman's purview was certainly very positively received by fans, but there were some questions of how another shared universe would fare during a time when fan and retailer sentiment on the Marvel and DC comic book universes seemed to be in decline. While many folks at Marvel or DC might scoff at such assessment of their current releases, it's one that we're seeing publicly echoed by retailers, something that would have been unheard of just a few years ago. Retailer Famous Faces and Funnies kicked off quite a conversation. So we have a new... right now we're in the Fall of X event, Fall of 10 event in the X-Men universe, leading to Jonathan Hickman's redoing of the universe again with Gods #1. So from Famous Faces and Funnies, we're just at over 15% on Gods #1 compared to our House of X #1. We have almost 350 subs, and we have a single-digit number of requests for this $10 book, even with Hickman attached. Lack of excitement about this book has people looking at it like the next Eternals or Inhumans. Ouch. And Irish Superstars Big Bang Comics also echo those sentiments. This is another problem we're having. People don't know what Gods is, or why they should care beyond the creative team. It's something that Mark Miller recently called out in some controversial statements that were being reported by many big comic outlets, including the Beat's Heidi McDonald, to Bleeding Cool as another comic website who reported. He told me that the real progress of Marvel and DC only came when they were desperate and sales were slipping. And now that we're hearing that the Energon universe has already seen a massive launch of the aforementioned Void Rivals #1 of over 100,000 copies, a number any DC or Marvel exec would love for a new IP, may well be filling that sales while Void, according to the retailers of the weekend, notably famed San Diego shop Now or Never Comics. It's official, Transformers just passed X-Men and became the book with the most subscribers at our shop. Bonkers FOC is this weekend, last call to pre-order. So yeah, Transformers #1 comes out in October, I think October 1st, if that's Wednesday. It's being written by Daniel Warren Johnson, who just did Do a Powerbomb last year, which was like my favorite book of the year last year.
Really?
And these are some of the covers. I've already pre-ordered a couple of different variants for Transformers #1, and Void Rivals has been very good, so I'm looking forward to how they're going to integrate this, especially with G.I. Joe. Like, Void Rivals has been about 2 alien races in space, and then Transformers is going to be, I guess, about whether they're on Cybertron or they're searching the galaxy or whatever. How does G.I. Joe going to fit in this universe? I'm not quite sure. We don't have enough information, obviously, from Void Rivals to figure that out. But Daniel Warren Johnson's Transformers #1 opened with 153,000 copies before we even get to October 1st. The buzz around Warren Johnson, Mike Spicer's Transformers #1 from Image has been growing so much so that former art rep compared the launch to Frank Miller and Klaus Johnson's The Dark Knight Returns.
Okay.
I think Tom King and Daniel Stampier's Wonder Woman might have had that comparison in the bag. But even as that debate remains inclusive to some, we just told you yesterday that the earlier buzz on Transformers 1 orders might just be, pardon the pun, Transform the Big 2. That goes on to say, that explains why now I've heard from my sources that Transformer 1 is launched with orders in excess of 153,000 units. It's definitely guaranteed to get a second print at that, and maybe even a third print.
Wow.
I actually wonder how much. So, Something is Killing the Children got up to 8 reprints, and I wonder what it took for that many copies to sell to get that many reprints.
It's actually pretty interesting. Yeah, that'd be.
Yeah, Skybound's record-breaking Transformers #1 debut happened with the ever-popular retailer variants at less than 20% of the total print run for Transformers 1, and no ratio variant above 1 in 100. Despite many other bigger launches relying on ratios as high as 1 in 1,000. Even more impressive, I have a feeling that Dan Buckley at Marvel and Pam Lifford at DC might be wondering how Transformers, a license that hasn't sold 6 figures in nearly 2 decades, has suddenly sold at levels they applaud for reviving their top properties and places the Energon universe solidly next to DC's New 52 launch, the latter launching in a much stronger economy. Yeah. There's the first Duke one. Because they're starting off for G.I. Joe, they're starting off with Duke #1 and not G.I. Joe #1, I believe. So that's the first cover for Duke.
I feel like it's a smart move.
I know there was definitely a 1 in 100 or some sort of special Comic-Con variant, I think, that we saw. It's going for a lot back in July during San Diego Comic-Con, but yeah, I mean, it's exciting for comics. So maybe it'll give Marvel and DC a kick in the butt on how they are handling their big franchises and
most definitely.
maybe taking some chances on the story.
Wow, no.
This isn't totally comic book related, but I liked that first movie, so I thought I would mention this.
No way.
Brightburn, if you haven't seen, came out 4 or 5 years ago. The premise was a kid, like 13, got powers, and Superman powers. What would happen if he was bad as a kid? Elizabeth Banks and Roy from The Office, I think, are his parents.
I think so, yeah.
It was a nice little like indie budget movie that was fun. and I'm surprised it's getting a sequel, but I'm here for it.
I'm very surprised it's getting a sequel. To be honest with you, I'm so behind on my news. Like, dude, this week and even last week, I'm so behind. But I had no idea that this was happening, let alone that I got greenlit. The first movie, I also enjoyed it. I really liked the premise, and I really liked how they handled a lot of situations in the movie where it'd be like, again, if Superman,
if he was bad
as a kid,
and
as
a kid, and he knew he could screw with people because there'd be no consequences. Like, what would that kid do?
But I feel like, and this part was the real hard part for me to get past, which was the relationship with his parents. It was not great. Like, not in the terms of the story, like it was a bad story because he was a bad guy. Like, it was like it was just written poorly. And I remember like there was like a situation where like the dad was like like they've already seen him like fly at super speed and like annihilate like someone, like decapitate this person in half. And the dad's like, I'm running for it. Like I'm just running, and like no chance. And like the same with the mom was like, oh, I'm gonna try. And it's like, why would you try? Anyway, there was a lot of things those things, and there was two other things that kind of really set me off. It was a hard movie. Those were hard things to digest to get past.
It was pretty gory.
It was gory. It was very surprising how gory it was.
And this came out before The Boys.
Yes.
Which kind of has now set the new tone for disgusting superhero on television. Produced by Guardians of the Galaxy and Superman Legacy, director James Gunn, Brightburn caught everyone's attention with its Man of Steel inspired teaser trailers. It brought something new to the superhero genre by delivering a horror movie that essentially asked, what if Superman was evil? The movie was a moderate success, earning just shy of $33 million on a reported budget of $6 million. Those aren't the sort of numbers which necessarily guarantee a sequel, but Deadline reports that the H Collective, H3 Entertainment, has plans to move forward with the follow-up. H3 Entertainment, that can't be the same guy as the H3, that YouTuber, is it?
No.
Okay.
No.
According to the trade, the production company intends to incorporate new technology into the green screen, or the Marvel thing with the
LED wall.
Into the production process of projects that it has in development, including a sequel to horror movie Brightburn. That's reportedly set to include the metaverse, Web3, and an artificial intelligence. Okay.
What?
Utilizing AI in the making of the project is a bold move, particularly when actors and writers are currently on strike to campaign its widespread usage in Hollywood. However, the company has assured people it plans to respect professionals and fans while promoting responsible technology integration. Okay, this is kind of worrying now at this point. They're just going to let
So, from my understanding, when the article you put down, and like I saw the title, I'm like, they're going to put AI as like the villain in the movie? I thought the kid was
I think they're using AI to write the script.
And they're definitely using AI to write the script.
Ooh.
So, wow, it really became a villain of a movie. Like, is this the first one?
Yeah.
Is this the first one
I don't
employ?
know if this is the first movie written by AI, but
no, not the first, but I'm saying the one that like is maybe produced by a studio
company?
that's that's gonna.
Yeah, I don't know.
Scared.
Excuse me. Okay. So if you're an aspiring comic book writer or looking to publish, there's a book out by Jamal Hennessy that you might be interested in, covering all aspects of the business. It's called The Business of Freelance Comic Book Publishing. I just thought I'd cover this in case anyone's interested. Cool. The book is targeting anyone in the business of freelance comic creation. The book aims to help its readers develop a business model for their services, leverage the assets that they offer to the industry, transform their skill, time, and creativity into financial gain. The success of indie comics like Walking Dead, Hellboy, Heartstopper, The End of the Fucking World. Oh, I didn't know that was a comic. Scott Pilgrim and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and more have inspired writers, artists, and would-be publishers to try and break into the comic book industry, only to discover the business of comics is chaotic and complex. Is this a solution? Yeah, so if you're interested in that, you can go to, I think it's a Kickstarter, and pick up that book and read about why it's such a bad idea to do that. And give it a go at publishing or writing comics. Okay, so we'll do top 10 marketplace and keys of the week.
Keys of the week. Your top 10.
Okay, so this week in the top 10 from Cover Price, number 1 we have Heart Attack, which I don't know. Let's check what this is. Oh, it's an image from 2019. 1 through 6, option for television, and there's only four results on eBay. $5.99 and all 6 for $29.99. There's another one here, The Magic Order, which also recently got optioned by Mark Miller. It's not showing there. It's right there. I actually found this all 1 through 6 on my local comic shop, so I was kind of pumped about that.
That's cool.
But not really sure. Like, given we're still in a writer strike and actor strike, the things that are optioning, are they really going to make them? Like, they're just going to get put to the wayside? I'm surprised they're announcing things that they're optioning.
Well, technically they haven't really announced it, right? Like, they just bought it. I feel like what's going to happen now is, they're going to option a lot of fucking bullshit. Not bullshit, but like they're going to option off a lot of like stuff that people I don't think would have imagined that they were planning to do or really had a plan to do before this whole thing. And what's the possibility of the studios buying up a bunch of, not buying, but licensing up a bunch of IP and then being like, we're gonna make it the way we want to make it.
Yeah, I kind of think
without a lot of people.
Part of this,
get what I'm saying.
I don't know. I'm just speculating, but I think part of this might be. So we're on a writer strike. We're gonna need some content when we come back, and optioning the stuff off. Though half the work's already done. We have a story. We have characters. We don't have to create a new world to come up with entirely original stuff. We can just adapt it, and adapting it might be quicker for a writer than creating an entirely new IP or an entirely new show. So they can get these projects off the ground quicker. Maybe, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah. I feel like that's the case too, because they don't even have to. They wouldn't have to write it. Even they could. I don't know. Make a. I don't know. Like, I'm kind of scared.
Number 2 this week is Spawn number 1 again. Spider-Man 2099, Venom Lethal Protector 1. Number 5 this week is Wolverine number 36, the first appearance of Helverine. I didn't
even know that existed. And it's amazing.
The spirit of Ghost Rider gets put into Wolverine.
Amazing.
Gets ripped out of Danny Ketch, if I'm recalling the story correctly, because I am reading it and I forget where they got it from. Yeah, they were doing experiments on Danny Ketch and promised to get it out of him, and I think they got a piece of it and then fused it with Wolverine.
Crazy.
And that's the cover. Void Rivals number 1 is in the top 10. Dazzler still there because of Taylor Swift, who her movie alone has made more money than most movies in an opening weekend.
I don't want to. I'm not going to say much, but I'm only just going to say that a company that we work with received a letter.
A letter.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay. I don't know what that means. Okay.
About,
Keys of the week.
for Taylor Swift. About Taylor Swift.
What did the letter say? Cease and desist?
Maybe.
What were they doing? Like using her name as part of the.
They're coming down. Like they're doing a crackdown on Canada right now because she's coming, right? So
Yeah.
they're planning ahead of time and they're scouring the nightlife scenes and figuring out who's doing what. And they're like, ooh, we don't like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Keys of the week in stores today. You have Wolverine 37, the retailer appreciation variant, 1 per store. It's the Greg Capullo cover, Virgin variant.
Ooh.
My local comic shop got one and refused to sell it to me. He always
spicy.
keeps that stuff that like that any ash cans he gets or a retailer variant. He rarely ever puts that out for sale. But other retailers I've seen, I saw it go as high as 200. Some shops selling it for.
Wow.
Yeah. Predator vs. Wolverine #1 4-issue limited series that came out this week. I got myself a copy. The Black Bombshell #1. A private investigator woke up from a night of heavy drinking, wondering what had happened that led him to being hired to solve an important case and exactly how he was going to succeed in completing the job.
Get it.
The Case of the Bleeding Wall #1. 4-issue limited series about Dana and Jana, a pair of supernatural sleuths. Hexagon Bridge #1. A couple finds themselves trapped in a strange parallel dimension inhabited by mischievous entities, and their only hope of rescue is their clairvoyant daughter and sentient robot.
What the fuck?
Okay. Jack Kirby's Star Warriors, one-shot remastered reprint of Jack Kirby's first space epic, Atom Star and the Solar Legion.
Really?
Junior Baker, The Righteous Faker #1, 5-issue limited series about a gonzo journalist chasing superhuman stories in a world that's left superheroes behind. The Left Hand Path, returning to their homeworld, the Deep Space crew investigates a ship that crashed there, killing everything. What they find inside is a paradox that seems to have no center. Oh. Maybe I should go back and see if my LCS has that one. That sounds
Whoa, that one looks crazy.
Rare Flavors #1. A demonic Rakshasa has a dream to be the next Anthony Bourdain. And to achieve this, he enlists a filmmaker to document the people and cuisine of India, but the creature has darker motives than what's on the surface. It's a nutty premise. It might be good.
That's wacky, and I love it.
Rumpus Room #1. A billionaire with a hideous skin condition can only control a disease with a face cream harvested from human beings who are sent to their doom in his Rumpus Room. Oh, nice.
They might as just well have named it Epstein's Island.
Was there not? Was there a boys cartoon about that with 2 superheroes that to keep young had to put cream on that was made from other humans?
What?
At some point there was a boys was it Boys or Invincible? No. It was boys cartoons that was in the same universe.
Oh, I didn't watch those.
Oh. Well, fine then.
Sorry.
Somebody's Killing Children #33, variant cover by Christian Ward. The Witcher Wild Animals #1, 4-issue limited series. Batman Superman World's Finest 19, Origin of World's Finest Batman and Superman Team Up. Catwoman 57, cover art by Ryan Gonzalez. Green Lantern War Journal #1, premiere issue. Superman #6, first appearance of Chained, a Doomsday level threat.
Okay.
Superman #6 this is the acetate cover.
It's a pretty cool cover.
Wonder Woman #1, this is a relaunch from Dawn of DC. First appearance of Amelia and Amazon. First full appearance of Sovereign. I think this is also written by Tom King. Wonder Woman #1 variant by Art Germ. Captain America, past and present and future collide as the man out of time reckons with an existential threat determined to set the world on a darker path at any cost. Uh, Dark Droids continues with Star Wars Dark Droids D Squad #1.
D Squad.
First team appearance of D Squad, a team of droids led by R2-D2. Uncanny Spider-Man #1, 5-issue limited series with Nightcrawler as a Spider-Man of New York City.
Wow.
What if Dark Carnage #1? What if Cortland Cassidy also merged with a symbiote? And X-Men Annual #1, Contest of Chaos crossover. Captain Marvel versus Cyclops. So those are your keys of the week. Some interesting ones. Still that Rompus Room one is super weird.
Yeah, it's super weird. Also, wouldn't Carol Danvers just obliterate Scott?
That might be the other Captain. Oh no, it is. Oh yeah, it is Captain Marvel. I mean, I guess we'll just have to see.
Maybe it'll just be like one fight.
Yeah, one punch.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's move on to some DC news.
Okay.
Did people really walk out of test screenings for Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom?
Did they? Because the last report I read was yes.
Last week, they finally released a trailer, which you can find a reaction to us watching it on our channel.
Mm-hmm. It's so weird to say, right? It's weird.
Whatever. It was okay. The trailer seemed okay. I liked it. Still have no interest in seeing it in theaters, but I'm happy to watch it at home. So after the trailer came out, some reports started coming out about its quality. Warner Brothers finally debuted a trailer for Aquaman and Lost Kingdom this past Thursday, and the first footage from James Wan's sequel seemed to go over fairly well for the most part, especially taking some of the negative things we heard about the movie into account. Previous reports have indicated that Arthur Curry's second solo adventure is a bit of a mess, and with some going so far as to describe it as an unmitigated disaster. We do know that the film underwent several rounds of reshoots. Though Wan played this down in a recent interview. There have been whispers about star Jason Momoa being vocal about how disappointed he was with how the sequel turned out. Can it really be that bad? Walk out of a test screening bad? Apparently so. Before I get to this, have you ever walked out of a movie?
I don't. To be honest with you, it's so funny because I always think about it, and I don't think so. I really don't.
If
I
you
really
want to
don't
let us know
think
in
so.
the comments, if you've ever walked out of a movie, let us know in which movie.
Please.
I walked out of Black Hat. Do you remember that terrible movie with Chris Hemsworth?
Yeah.
So bad. So I walked out of that movie, and it's the only movie I've ever walked out of.
No, there's been more. I remember you mentioning them to me, and I don't know why I should know.
No, I feel like that's kind of the only one I walked out of. That was really bad. Anyways.
I mean, you've shut off a lot of movies early.
Oh, yeah, like at home, I'll not finish a movie. But like actually paying for a movie in the theater and then walking out of theater, yeah.
I have a hard time, right?
I'll shut off a movie.
I give the money and
at
it's
home,
like I'm
just
going to
wasting
take...
my time. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to take every brutal ounce.
Yeah. But if I go to pay for it at the theater, I think Black Hat's the only one I walked out of. Having said that, we heard this has happened earlier this year, but it didn't really buy it. However, Grace Randolph has now revealed that she was told the same thing, and Insider and My Time to Shine Hello has backed her up. Quote, Grace Randolph reveals that viewers have walked out of free test screenings for Aquaman 2. My Time to Shine Hello says that is correct. How terrible of an experience must a person be having to get up and walk out of a free test screening? To be fair, even if it did happen, it may have been an earlier cut of Lost Kingdom, so improvements may have been made for the theatrical version that'll be heading our way this December. Guess we'll find out. It's true, we don't know if it was an earlier cut or not.
From my understanding, it was an earlier cut.
Oh.
Because there was one...
There was so much Amber Heard in it.
Yeah. Apparently there was one scene where people were very not having it. And apparently when it happened, everyone was like, what the fuck?
Oh, and walked out of that on a controversial scene. So it wasn't a
it wasn't controversial.
Oh.
It was just it was so like not, I don't know if it was
Didn't
not
make
needed
sense?
or
Oh.
maybe that too, but yeah. So we'll see. It'll be interesting.
Okay. So score 1 for the workers. Marvel Studios
Yay.
visual effects workers have unanimously voted yes to unionize following damning disclosures. It's official. Over 50 in-house visual effects employees at Marvel Studios have unanimously voted yes to unionization. Josh is getting up and leaving. He's so thrilled with
Bro,
the
so
unionization. Last month.
Stop.
Are you laughing at me? Who are you laughing at?
I was just smiling.
Are you telling me to stop?
Smile?
Who are you telling to stop?
First off, you're saying that I that was, what was that, for the strikes or something? No, it wasn't that. Yeah, okay.
Anyways, last month the report revealed that a group of on-set employees filed a petition for an election to be represented by the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees with the National Labor Relations Board. That move came after multiple reports of visual effects crews being pushed to meet unreasonable deadlines by Marvel Studios. This marks the first time visual effects workers have joined forces to demand the same rights, wage protections, and professional watchdog oversight enjoyed by professionals in almost every other part of the entertainment industry. Roughly 18 visual effects staffers at Walt Disney also voted for unionization. IATSE organizer Mark Patch says the aim would be to have members of such a local work under the basic agreement contract already used by entertainment workers and 13 locals, including the International Cinematographers Guild. Mm-hmm. Oh, are you part of that? Because you take pictures?
No.
Oh.
No.
Motion Picture Editors Guild, Art Directors Local Guild. The current basic agreement expires in 2024. Negotiations for a new contract are expected to begin next March. Yeah, so this is a huge win for workers. I hope it's a huge win for us. We'll have better visual effects. Sure, it might take longer for those movies to come out, but I bet they'll look good.
Well, the CEOs aren't going to have that.
Unless Marvel decides to start shipping all of their visual effects over to other countries, I guess. That could be a problem.
Haven't they already started doing that?
Yeah, but I felt like if they are employees by Marvel, they would leave the biggest shots to Marvel employees, like the most important ones, right?
I would agree.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, next, a little bit of quick Marvel news. Werewolf by Night is coming to Disney in full color, just time for Halloween. If you haven't seen Werewolf by Night, it was great. And it was in black and white, and now it's coming to Disney Plus in color October 20th. So I guess it'll kind of be interesting to see what kind of blood there is, because wasn't there like a hand got chopped off? There was some shooting with some bow and arrows. So we'll see. I guess we'll kind of see how gory it is.
Do you think there's any benefit for people with vision accessibility issues that way,
Like,
it
that are
would be
colorblind?
color? Yeah, like color would be better than it being black and white. Like that's really the only benefit that I can understand at this point, because in reality, like, it was perfect the way it is.
No.
Why do we have to add color? B,
I don't mind.
do we
seeing
think that
color? Like,
do we think that they shot it in color? No, they did. They said that they did. I'm pretty certain.
First of all, why you gotta slag on them for just putting it out in color?
Because I feel like it's just as, like,
you already watched in black and white. You don't have to watch.
They have
this
to
one.
do the work to put it in color. Why don't you spend that on one of your things that are coming out or something? Like,
Well, I don't have anything coming out right now except the Marvels, I guess.
well, fuck.
Okay. More Marvel news. Vengeance of the Moon Knight will introduce a new Moon Knight next year following Mark Spector's death.
Damn.
After the death of Moon Knight comes his vengeance. Beginning next month, we'll witness Mark Spector's dramatic final moments play out in Moon Knight 28 to 30. But this is a comic book death. But is this a comic book death that will actually stick? Probably not. Even so, writer Judd McKay and artist Alessandro Capuccio will return in January to take Moon Knight's story into the next phase in the pages of Vengeance of the Moon Knight. Over the course of 30 issues, McKay and Capuccio have revitalized Moon Knight mythos with the introduction of a new Fist of Khonshu, Hunter's Moon, the return of Moon Knight's archenemy Black Spectre, and an exciting new calling for Mark Spectre at the Midnight Mission. Now this blockbuster run reaches an explosive turning point as the pieces fall into place for Moon Knight's ultimate demise. When the dust settles, a new avatar of Khonshu's wrath will awaken, complete with a new look and an unquenchable thirst for battle. This mysterious new Moon Knight emerges to take Mark's place in Vengeance of the Moon Knight, and they're described as a deadlier lunar legionnaire for the dark times ahead. Yeah.
Damn.
We get a kind of a sketch drawing of what the new Moon Knight will look like.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah. I've have this run on my pull list. I've not read one issue. I'm waiting until it's done, which will be soon. I think we're at issue 27, so I have 3 issues left.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
More rumors about Avengers Secret Wars cast that will include Ian McKellen.
Yeah.
If this is true, they gotta get going on it, because he ain't getting any younger. He's like early 80s, I want to say.
They do not have a lot of time. Like, it's not funny. I shouldn't even be smiling.
He's 84, dude.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So, according to Trusted Scooper, My Time to Shine Hello, McKellen will return, assuming as X-Men villain Magneto in the upcoming superhero crossover movie, which will serve as the culmination of the multiverse saga. The actor has previously played iconic Marvel Comics antagonist in 20th Century Fox X-Men, and he was a great Magneto. It's just he's really old and could die before they make this, unless they got the rights to his likeness.
Don't do it like that yet. We're gonna have to talk about that for years on end. Please don't.
We've already talked about previously Daphne Keane coming back, James Marsden, blah blah blah, Femke Janssen. Now we'll see if Ian McKellen's back, Gandalf.
I think it's gonna happen, and I think it's gonna happen in Deadpool 3.
Right. So in the Marvel or the Marketplace top 10, we talked about this Greg Capullo, one per retailer. So I guess I don't really have to go over it a lot, but there was, I thought I saw the prices in here. One was 200. Someone else said an LCS sold it for $4 by mistake, but yeah, that's not the case. Okay, moving on. Did you know that Daredevil on Disney Plus is a scam? You seem frozen in time. Did your camera freeze? Josh? And his camera froze. Did your camera freeze? His new camera has frozen. That's interesting. Maybe his computer crashed. Anyways, okay, so Daredevil Netflix showrunner calls reboot a scam. Netflix Daredevil showrunner Stephen DeKnight says that the Daredevil Born Again is an old Disney scam. On Twitter, the showrunner acknowledged a fan posted that pointed out a trend of Disney rebooting shows. Basically, in the IATSE ranks and elsewhere, workers have a mandated pay raise and vacation pay when a show makes it to season 3. Social media users have discovered that Disney and other studios shows often get canceled or rebooted before that 3rd season. Online critics argue that this is basically used by companies to get away with not paying workers at that increased rate and to avoid those other benefits. DeKnight saw the post and basically nodded his head at the accusation and argued that current negotiations should get rid of those provisions entirely. On Twitter, DeKnight said he does. It's an old Disney scam where they slightly rename the series to reset the contract terms back to season 1. needs to be addressed by all guilds and unions, and crushed. He, yeah. So he's not saying the show itself is a scam, just that a lot of studios like to reset the show so they don't have to pay those benefits. I know there's a show I watch on Amazon, Bosch. It went to 7 seasons, and they didn't want to. The show was becoming too expensive because of those raises, so they just kept everyone, but started over again with Bosch Legacy. Tweaked the story, kept all the same actors, and put it somewhere else so they could reset it again, and reset those pay levels. It's kind of scammy. It's kind of scammy to do, for sure. He went on to clarify. Wait, is this the same one that I opened? It might have been the same one. He went on to clarify that the showrunner, that he didn't mean the show itself. It just meant like, and the actors are great, blah blah blah. He just meant that Disney doing that was a scam. Okay, one more for today, and then we'll call it a night. Taika Waititi on Thor: Love and Thunder criticisms. If you want it to be like the comics, read the comic. Thor: Love and Thunder had all the makings of the best Marvel Studios movie ever. Heavily inspired by Jason Aaron's Thor run and featuring both the mighty Thor and Gore the God Butcher, the right ingredients were definitely there. Among those, Thor Ragnarok director Taika Waititi, his successfully reinvented God of Thunder in that 2017 blockbuster, and fans were excited to see what came next. Unfortunately, the result was a movie which largely disappointed and definitely didn't do the source material justice. Oh, there he is. What happened?
Everything's breaking. What else is new?
Are you on your phone?
I am, yes.
Oh, that's why you sound weird too.
Oh, perfect.
Did your computer crash or did your webcam crash?
Everything.
Oh, and you also have a time delay too. That's nice. Well, I'm just about to do I'm on the last thing anyways. So, we're talking about Taika and saying, if you didn't like Thor: Love and Thunder, then just read the comic. Talking a new released movie special book, Waititi acknowledges that it was very difficult to find the right tone. It's an ongoing battle because I want my films to be entertaining. I want a lot of humor in them to poke fun, not only at the idea of the space Viking, but also to poke fun at humans, how we bumble our way through life on this planet. The comic run is very serious, and Jane's story is especially tense. Yeah. And so to try to find humor around that stuff, as well as making an emotional story, was always going to be difficult. And we struggled with that. We wrestled it throughout the edit, right up until we finished the film. He didn't have to make a funny movie, though. Like, Marvel has serious movies with a little bit of humor in it, and it's fine. Like, he didn't have to make a funny movie first and then add drama to it. Oh, you ruined Gore. The comic run is, we did funny scenes about cancer. We did way more tragic scenes about having cancer. Some audiences really love the humor part of it. Some audiences really want it to be just like the comics. But you know, I always say if you want it to be exactly like the comics, read the comic. You've got to change things here and there to make it a film. While there's truth to that, it's interesting that Waititi and Marvel Studios struggled to find a movie that worked in post-production. It's not remotely surprising given how Thor: Love and Thunder, which clocked in at under 2 hours, turned out the writer and director may well have been benefited from sticking closer to the comics. The finished product didn't work, and it's unclear whether Thor 4 will ever happen. You mean Thor 5? Because that was Thor 4.
Maybe it's a typo.
Well, it's comicbookmovie.com. They have AI writing their stuff. Yeah. Whatever. I think we've beaten that horse enough that it's a huge missed opportunity with one of the great villains of Thor.
Sad.
What he did to Gore. And now you're flipping your camera. Jesus. Okay, so I'll hit you with an ad one more time, and then we'll say thanks for watching, and Josh will buy a new computer by next week. See where I'm. Okay, thanks.
Thanks.
YouSellComics.com, your new multi-vendor marketplace. You Sell Comics offers a site exclusively for buying and selling of all things comics. Slabs, omnis, trades, and more. Sell for as low as 5% commission or 0 commission monthly tiers. Run your own